Floods sparked by 4 days of torrential rain got Sydney to a standstill. At least 85,000 people have been forced to leave their homes and the water levels remain high in rivers and dams. Before I tell you more, I want to show you a video of an affected resident lashing out at the visiting Prime Minister for the government's inaction on the matter. Take a look.
But this is ongoing. You're going to be turning up again in the next 3 or 4 months. What we need, and we appreciate you saying thank you and your heart-held thanks to us, we actually need action now, and this is the first part of it. You've got your government and your government need to start working together. You've had flood studies since 2012, but nothing's happened. It gets a bit beyond that, guys. There's no insurance. The majority of these people here, including me, we're not insured. I've got 4 metres of water out the back. So from our point of view, like when I go back home, we've tried ringing up local government and state government. No one's going to help me clean up. Out the backyard, I've got chemical containers that have floated in. I've got wood, I've got chairs that have floated in. But I'm going to bear that responsibility and that cost. You will speak to it, you will speak to the council, and that's the problem. There's a lot of speaking happens, but this is where this time with the Hawkesbury, we're a bit over. We need action.
That's just a sample of the anger on the ground. This resident of Windsor is not alone. Many affected people feel that the government was not prepared for the catastrophe. This is Sydney's 3rd flooding in just 7 months. And citizens feel that the government does not have a future plan of action in place either. And this is especially important because this is the same government that touted its climate policies. In many ways, this was Albanese's litmus test to stand by his promises. In a recent briefing, he made a statement right out of his campaign scripts that his government has changed Australia's position on climate change. He also said floods are not new to the country, so his citizens ask, why hasn't the government prepared better?
We are looking at long-term solutions. My government has changed Australia's position on climate change from day one. For example, what we know is that Australia has always been subject of floods, of bushfires, but we know that the science told us that if we continued to not take action globally on climate change, then these events, extreme weather events, would be more often and more intense. And what we're seeing, unfortunately, is that play out.
Flooding forced the Australian Rail Track Corp to shut. This is the world's biggest coal export port. People have been using boats to carry fuel and essential supplies to homes. Many piled up sandbags to protect homes and businesses. A one-off emergency payment of $680 has been announced for those affected.
Obviously, there's a bit of despair with some people, and I know that a lot of people have only just gone through the whole process of getting their places cleaned up, getting all the renovations and things fixed up and replaced from the previous floods earlier this year. So having one so soon again is a bit heartbreaking because this is going to be the 3rd big clean-up they've had to do in less than 2 years.
The weather on Australia's east coast has been dominated by the La Nina phenomenon, which typically means greater rainfall. Australia has been battered by this phenomenon for 2 years in a row. It ended this June, but the weather officials have warned that there is a 50% chance that it may return later this year. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.